Yo, yo, yo. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome to Tales with TR episode 246A. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr. I just got back from La Land, and I had a blast. And I'm sure most of you, or some of you at least, I'd say the majority of you want to hear all about that, and I will get to it. I'll tell you this, the last two weekends being the Four Nations Cup and then the fundraiser for LA, it's been overwhelming. 2 weeks ago seems like 2 years ago. And I'm going to tell you all about that on episode 246A here and B, because I'm going to need two of them. Sorry again, I've been so busy. I'm speaking at the Conn Smythe dinner tonight in Toronto. I just don't have time to get a guest, and I figure I've got so many things to say about the last week, few days at least. I should relay that. Anybody who's still tuning in after all these years, all these episodes, probably like stories. Well, I'll tell you a story. So I only found out about this game a couple of weeks ago, if that, and I was asked to do it. Actually, maybe 3 weeks ago, I got an email, but I thought the game was here in Toronto, where I am now. I'm speaking tonight at the Conn Smythe dinner. I'm going from here to Bonnyville actually tomorrow, and then straight back to Sudbury to start shooting season 5 of Shoresy. Okay, so I thought that I was being asked because the game for the LA fundraiser was here in Toronto, because I was here at around this time, and we were going to send the money to LA. Had no idea, none, that the game was actually in LA until Jordan Nolan, who was also asked and played for the LA Kings and plays one of the gyms, of course, in Shoresy. He sent me the text and said, "Hey, when are you flying out?" "I'm going to be flying out of Detroit." "And where are you going out of?" "I'm guessing Toronto." I'm like, "What do you mean? Are you playing in Toronto?" And I'm like, "Okay, wait, this game's in LA. So it's overwhelming already." Now I'm like, okay, it's going to be not that it wouldn't have been fun. We're raising money for a good cause. Okay. So it would have been fun. I'm just saying, now I'm like, this is great. Bonus. Any chance to get to LA. So I book like 2 days ahead of time, because I know, and I'm just coming off the Four Nations. My buddies, some of them aren't even home yet as I'm booking my ticket from Montreal the week before. There's so much going on, so many delays and cancellations. I'm like, getting me out the earliest possible, because we're not guaranteed I'm going to get there. Sure enough, time comes to go, and it's a snowstorm, and everything's canceled. Now, this is the night before. Now, my flight was supposed to be 8 a.m. This is the day before, and still, it was supposed to be actually the night of 2 days before. Then it got bumped to 8 a.m. the day before, which being, I think, Thursday. And it's clear as a bell in the morning, but all the flights get canceled. And I'm going, oh, man, like, I guess whatever happened overnight, or maybe they're being overly cautious, and I'll never complain over safety or whatever, but I'm going, especially not on a plane. But I'm going, fuck, like, now I'm not going to get there, because it says, hey, we've got you rebooked. You get in Sunday night at 7 to LA. I'm like, well, I can't do that. So I get back to the host committee, and, I'm so upset, because now I'm starting to see who's playing in the game. The thing comes up online. It's talking about Will Ferrell and Justin Bieber and Vince Vaughn and Kobe Smulders and Ross Lynch and Steve Carell. I could go on, but, I posted it on my Instagram, on my Facebook. If you want to see the list of people, it's overwhelming for someone like me, for sure. I didn't expect to be invited to the game. So anyway, I think I'm not getting in, but I get back to them, and sure enough, they find me a way to get to Toronto that night. And they said, look, in the morning, there's things coming out. You'll get in right before the game, but, better late than never. So sure enough, boom, I go out myself. Mark Montefiore of the Shoresy family is great. He's there with to greet myself and Jordan. And, then Biz Nasty and the boys are there. We're in the hotel. It's awesome. JW Marriott right next to the crypto arena. But we go for a little coffee bite in the morning, and we're like, you know what, let's just go right over now, because there's a red carpet. There's celebrities. We're probably not going to be part of anything like this again. Knock on wood, but it's just a unique, even if we are, it's just a unique opportunity to have a bit of fun and to absorb a moment. And I just don't mean here the moment of meeting celebrities. This was a very, like, the last couple of weeks as a Canadian at that game, the US Canada, it was emotionally charged. There was a lot of anxiety that went along with it, I'm sure on the US side too. But, we really, like I said, there was a lot of layers to that onion, man, that game. And we were there, and as much with all my Newfoundland buddies watching Team Canada, I'd never been in that situation before. And then you go to the next weekend, which everything I'm telling you now sounds great. It is, but think of what we're raising the money for. And a lot of people are there, are hands-on, man. And a lot of the people that we were raising money for were the first responders. So some of them played in the games. we got to meet them and know them, and we heard stories. And so it's overwhelming for me to go over to meet Snoop Dogg and talk about Dr. Dre and Doggy Style. And I'm blown away. I'm freaking out, man. But then you turn your head, and it's not just the first responders. There's 15,000 people at the game, and everybody there was in some way related to what happened, and some of them directly. Some of them lost their houses, right? So I'm going over to meet people and talk about them, and it's one thing to meet a Shoresy fan or a Tales with TR fan. It's another thing to meet them, after just having lost everything, and they're coming to watch hockey because they love it, and it brings the community together. And so, you felt like crying, goosebumps hearing these stories. And then you turn around and Will Ferrell's there. Like, so there was so much going on. And then going out to play the games. I mean, it was wild. It even put the puck in the net, and, I hammed it up a little bit, but that's what it is. I mean, I'm getting a lot of grief for wearing no bucket, but I don't know. That was an homage to my buddy Greg Bird Doug Smith. There you go. And it's a show, man. I'm more Ted Hitchcock out there than I am TR. Although TR would have loved it too. But listen, what was I going to say? So I just want to tell you. So I'm going to have to talk about this over 2 segments here, because I got to speak tonight. I got to speak tomorrow in Bonnieville. I don't have the time for a guest this week, but anybody tuning into this point is probably tuning in because I have some stories, if nothing else. If you don't like them, you would have probably zoned out 2 or 3 years ago. So I may as well tell you. So that's part of the story. But just the second 246B, I'll tell you about meeting Bieber and all that, which was wild. Shutting down the night in West Hollywood with Danny DeVito and Mark Messier and PK, Scotty Upshaw, but a bunch of people that, I look up to. But the hockey player is one thing. Danny DeVito, I never thought I'd meet. And I mean, I'm sitting down with him eating in West Hollywood, calamari and, wine and caviar. And I mean, it was just, and it was all just coming out. We didn't even know what was coming. I was sitting there with Danny DeVito. What's coming next, Danny? Like, it was just wild. But anyway, I'll get into all that. And thank you to Mark Montefiore coming along with me and being my wingman that night. It was awesome. Okay, so guys, there's a couple things that never happened to me before. So I come up to Toronto, like I said, the night before, and I'm flying out to go to LA, I think 6 or 7 in the morning. So, and I got all my shit with me. Okay, so because I got to play the game, usually I just travel with a backpack. So I don't mind meeting people at the airport. I never do, especially because usually they'll recognize me from the show. Then they must be fans, right? But when you're walking through, and think of all the delays. So Toronto Airport is a zoo. So just getting over now, I got my priority. I fly so much. I got the 50K, whatever it's called. And they were nice enough on the committee to, get me first class all the way out. So I can kind of go to the priority line, but the thing is, it's a zoo anyway. Now, try walking through the Toronto airport with a hockey bag and a hockey stick right around now where trades are being talked about and everything. So this was overwhelming because, most people didn't recognize me at all. I'm guessing they just saw some guy with a fucking hockey bag, hockey stick, and I had my backpack on that normally that's all I'd be traveling with, right? And again, I don't mind traffic, but this was nuts. So people kept coming, what team would you, let me guess, Tampa Bay. And I'm like, no, let me go. And then right when one person came over, then a lot of people came over. And of course, there was a few Shoresy fans there, but I'm just trying to get out. And I'm not exactly early, but I'm not late, but I'm like, I forget that I got to go through the U.S. customs line and all that. And I'm going, shit. I'm like, I think I was like 3 hours when I got there, but you know how long those lineups can be. I didn't really take into account the international part of this, which is a rookie move. And normally I do, especially when I had luggage with me. So anyway, I go through and it's a zoo just getting there. Now I get there, I go to oversize. Okay. Now I'm in oversize, waiting in the lineup in oversize to put my stuff to the, whatever you call it, the tarmac or no, but whatever it is, the roller, you put them on the belt, Jesus. So there's like maybe 10 people in line. So I'm waiting. I put my phone down. I'm waiting, talking to the guy next to me who's a hockey fan. Hasn't seen Shoresy, is aware of it, but he's talking about he loves the Leafs. And, we're having a little banter. And then as this one guy is in front of us. So everybody, 4 or 5 people in front of me are all going on a trip. I don't know, like it's some all inclusive or whatever. They got Hawaiian shirts on. Some of them, it's like a group of guys. They're just happy to get away. It's freezing in Canada right now. They're going somewhere south. It seems to me, at the very least, some rest and relaxation, if not some stag party or something. So, and this one guy's kind of in on the conversation. And, we're Canadians. We're talking about, hey, the Four Nations Cup and see what happened. It was awesome. And the one guy and the girl goes, okay, you're up. And he's like two in front of me. And he puts his stuff on the belt. And as he's taking his ID or whatever out of his pocket, or his ticket to show her, whatever it is, a big bag of Coke falls out. And like it just fell on the ground. And everybody looked at each other and nobody knew what to do. I didn't know what to do. I don't think she knew what to do. Like, we're not at security. He's got his bag through. It's not in the bag. It's on the ground. But she's like, okay, this guy got Coke on him. So what are they going to do? I was like, I felt bad for the guy because, these guys were going down and they're all looking and they're going like, okay, what do we do now? And the girl had to go, okay. And so when his bag went, because he still had to wait for his bag. So now I'm like, if there's nothing in his bag and it goes, he can just go fire that in the garbage or something. And, whatever he's got to do. I mean, I don't know. And anyway, she goes, hey, come over here. Like, she just went over and talked to the guy behind the thing. And now, whatever, as if there was something in his bag. So he went over. I don't know what they said to him. I don't know how they would have handled that. I've never seen it. I would have thought at some point, even at security, I would have seen the thing go off with somebody with drugs or weapons, and then maybe not even a weapon that they meant to use, but because that's rare. But pocket knife, or you'd figure at some point. But I travel a lot. I've never seen it, and I guess they're not looking for drugs. I suppose when you're going through it'd be a bold move to walk through with a bag of Coke. But are they really gonna, or anything? Are they gonna? But when you're going through that X-ray machine or whatever. But you'd figure I would have seen the same scenario at some point. Well, I think people are taking stuff out, and I've never seen it. And this guy's just there, and he didn't know what to do, man. So, and all the guys with him were like, "What the fuck do we do now?" Anyway, they just went on. So I talked to a couple of them that then, they were telling me, I forget where they were going, but it was unfortunate, to say the least, for everybody involved. I don't know how they turned out. Anyway, so we go on. Now we got to go through the security, but the U.S. security and then customs. Okay. So I'm talking to these guys because, that was wild what just happened. And again, almost everybody around me at some point is talking about the Four Nations, right? And, Canada and everything. And it just happened. So I go through security. It's all good. And okay, see you boys, and get my shit, put it in my bag. And then I realize I don't have my phone. I'm going, what? And I just wait. Like either I was talking to them or I have a Kobo. I think Kobo or Canadian. What's it called? An e-reader, Kindle down there, maybe. You down in the States. And I was either reading that because it's easy on the eyes, and I'm in line, and I find it easier than just looking down at my phone. So I was either reading that or talking to the people around me, and it's a long lineup. So, that's how long I was there, a half hour, 45 minutes. I find out on the other side now that I don't have my phone. What a fucking panic. So I went to the guy, man. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I waited all that time. I got to go back out into that abyss that is the Toronto airport and try to find my phone. I phoned it a couple times. Now I'm thinking maybe I left it in the Uber on the way here, right? I often if I got something to do, I'll put my phone under my leg. And I don't know why I do that because I've left it so many places. I'm probably reading that Kobo. Anyway, but I didn't. I realized, I'm like, you know what? The last time I had that was in the cart that I was using with my luggage. And it was while I was talking to those guys, and the fucking bag of Coke fell out, and it took all of our attention and everything. And then we went Four Nations Cup. Jesus, we were talking about Tim Horton and Mario Lemieux's top 5 goals. Like we just went off, and you know what I mean? So I was completely distracted after that. And I realized, I'm like, I left that on the top of the cart. And the worst is that I left it like horizontal. If I left it like I left it sideways. If I left it upways, it would have fell down in between. Like it wasn't even really, it was too small to really put there unless you had it perfectly. So I'm like, oh my God, that was 45 minutes ago. So I went to the guy at security. He walked me out from the US side. He didn't have to do it. Thank you very much. All I know his name was Dan. Thank you, Dan. And he took me out and said, okay, Mr. Ryan's going to come back. And now I'm at, like, he takes me to the front of the line to the security agent or whatever on the American side. So I run back out, man, to where I was. Nothing. And I'm going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm looking around and there's all these different carts. And I just frantically start looking. Sure enough, it's in one of the random carts. I don't know, 50 feet at least from where I had it. And it hasn't, the phone itself is still in the same position. Like if it wasn't, if it would have fallen down through. It's weird because where the cart was, someone would have had to move it a long way, at least one group of people or one person, sorry. Why did I say group of people to move it? I mean, at least one person would have moved it, if not multiple hands had touched it by that point. I mean, it's 45 minutes later, and it happened to fucking be there. I couldn't believe it. I was elated. I immediately thanked Dan and everybody else. And I say Dan, it's Dan. I don't mean this to be disrespectful. He knows what I'm talking about. It's a long name. He's an immigrant to Canada. Would you have to? I wonder if you have that job. Are you American or Canadian? I'm guessing he was American, but he was from India somewhere, and it was a really long name. Like it was like Dana Shlaka Milla, like something like that. And I just said, "Hey, Dano." So he knows who I'm talking about. I told him about the podcast. He said he was going to listen. Thanks, my man. I don't remember your last name, nor could I pronounce it, even if I knew it. You know that. I know that. I love you for it, though. For it, I love you for helping me out. I really do. You check me out on Instagram or something, Dano, and shoot me a note if you ever need tickets to something. I don't know. And by the way, this isn't an invite for all you other guys to send me messages. Can I get tickets? No. Dan, I owe you something, and I will literally buy them if I have to, or maybe send you a book or something like that. I really appreciate it. You won't realize how much you helped me out. And I got to that event on time. We raised a lot of money, and I ended up, meeting some people that I never thought I'd meet, having experiences that I never thought I'd experience, all because of my man Dano in that lineup that morning. Thank you, Dano. I really appreciate it. You know what? I just looked because Dan let me use his phone, and it's Torova. There you go, Dan Torova. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You're a wicked dude. I know that didn't seem too hard to pronounce. Now I feel like it's a racist comment or something, which it's not. The first name, though, I would need help pronouncing. Anyway, thank you, my man. I really appreciate it. Now, folks, I've got to go get ready to speak at the Conn Smythe dinner. I'm looking forward to it. If you're in TO, myself, what are we going to do after? And you, I just promised a few of you that we were going to do, we were going to sign some Shoresy stuff. So we're going to be here. I'm here today. I'm leaving tomorrow. Okay. We're going to be back. We're doing season 5 of Shoresy, but we're doing a day. What I'm getting to here is that we're doing a day like a Shoresy kind of mini group thing at the Jays. So not that it's anytime soon, but just follow me on Instagram and I'll drop that. Like I said, we like being immersed with the fans at things we enjoy doing. I love going to Jays games. And I was just speaking to some local people that work with the team that might have some kind of, I don't mean throw out the first pitch or anything like that. I mean, we'll be in the outfield if you want to come have a chat, maybe talk about the Jays, talk about Shoresy, Bulldogs, whatever it is. And there'll at least be a few of us. I don't want to confirm anything yet, but that's what's going to go down. And tonight, like I said, is the Conn Smythe dinner. And afterwards, I believe there's a fundraiser, some kind of a silent auction. I should have more facts, but I don't. So just follow me on Instagram, Terry Ryan 2020. I'm going to post some links that we can raise some money for some young athletes who need it. Thank you for listening. I'll drop 246B hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I'll tell you all about my trip to LA. And next week, we're going to have some guests again, I promise. I met some really interesting people. I'm going to take advantage of that. They agreed to be on the pod, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for listening. If you're in St. John's and you're downtown, why don't you check out Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, the Martini Bar, Green Sleeves, and of course the Bull and Barrel. You want to go get a bite to eat, try out the Loose Tie, try out Blue on Water, and of course Wedgwood Cafe, who also do catering. Ryan Power at Power Conditioning, strength and balance for the body and mind. 2 locations of Mr. Lube, Live Laugh Lube, Torbay Road and Kenmount Road. Pitbull Pain Relief, the pain sticks just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com, see what all the fuss is about. Muggsy Jeans, I loves me Muggsy Jeans. Drew Hockey, take what's yours. We'll be back just a couple of days with more Tales with TR. Thanks. Catch you guys on the rebound.